Hey, what is up guys? Thanks for tuning in for another video, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. As I mentioned in the previous video, this is the new big brake kit setup that I purchased for my 2012 Gen Honda Civic Si, and today we are going to install it. So I currently have the Acura RL big brake kit set up with the fast brakes adapter kit and the 350Z rotors installed on the Civic. They are a fantastic and budget-friendly option as a big brake kit upgrade for your 9 Gen Civics. They have performed very well for the past 2 years that I've owned them. There is nothing wrong with them at all, but I finally decided to upgrade them to the Genesis BBK for one of many reasons. The Genesis big brake kit upgrade is a direct plug and play for the 9 Gen Civics. Yes, you heard that right. It is a direct plug and play. The Genesis calipers shares the same mounting bolt size and bolt spacing on the knuckle, as well as the same banjo style bolt fitting found in most Hondas. And there is no need to draw out the knuckle like how you would with the Acura TLS calipers. And being able to revert this back to stock, which I probably never will, is a major proponent in my decision making as well. Secondly, the Genesis calipers shares the same brake pads as the Evos and SCIs, which in turn allows for more brake pad options to choose from if I desire. From my experience of running the Acura RL calipers, they seem to be pretty limited on pads, and I'm sure that the Acura TLS has a good fair share of pads, but the benefit to change out to a wide range of pads in a pinch is a no-brainer. Third, I'll be able to run bigger size rotors, which can result in more braking capabilities. I believe with the Acura TLS setup, you have to run the S1000 rotors, which are 300 millimeters in size. In comparison to the Genesis BBK setup, the Nissan Rogue rotors are 320 millimeters, which are slightly larger. And lastly, I just prefer the style and look of the Genesis caliper. It is bigger and it looks a lot beefier with a cleaner design language to the caliper. And with the price that I got the complete Genesis BBK for, which included the calipers, the rotors, and the brake pads, was a stellar deal. I paid way less than the average used TLS calipers go for. So that is a win in my book. Alright, so hopefully that answers some of the questions that you guys may have in regards to why I'm switching over to the Genesis BBK instead of the popular Acura TLS BBK. Now, let's dive into the parts and get this installed on the Civic. Alright guys, so these are all the parts that's needed in order to get the Genesis BBK setup installed on my 9 Gen Civic Si. Starting off, we have a pair of 2010 to 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe Track Pack front Brembo calipers. These came off of 2016 with about 60k miles. And the piston on these calipers as well as the sills do look brand new, so I'm not too worried about any of these pistons seizing up. Only thing wrong with these calipers is pretty much all cosmetic, which I'll be taking care of shortly. As of now, I will be running the OEM Genesis Coupe brake pads. If you guys have any recommendations on which pads to run, feel free to drop them down below. I would love to hear them. These are the OEM hardware that I pulled off the calipers. I did repolish them just to make them look brand new and shiny again. The pins here. A brand new set of Brembo decals to go on once these guys get refinished. Got myself a set of centering rings. The purpose of these guys is to center the rotor onto the Civic because these rotors are 70 millimeters, I believe, and the Civic is 64.1. So these are just to help center the rotor onto the hub. Now these guys are 2015 to 2020 Nissan Rogue with third row seating, 320 millimeter rotors. It's very important that these rotors are off the Nissan Rogue with third row seating because the third row seating comes with the bigger 320 millimeter rotor. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this entire setup. There's not a lot to it, to be honest. The only thing we have left to do now is get these guys refinished. I'm gonna get that done off camera and I'll get back to you guys once everything is cured and ready to go onto the car. First, we will start off by moving the 12mm bolt that's holding the brake line to the strut. Once we have that 12mm bolt removed, we're going to go ahead and move to the back of the caliper. If you're running the stock OEM calipers, you have two 17mm bolts that you will need to undo. For my case, since I'm currently running the Acura RL calipers with the fast brakes adapter kit, I do have a few more extra bolts that I do need to remove. But if that's not the case for you, the two 17mm bolts is all you have to undo. And once you have those removed, we can pull the caliper off the rotor and either hang it with some zip ties onto the strut or set it down if you have enough slack. Just make sure you're not hanging it directly from the brake line. Alright guys, so I put the caliper rested on this bag right here. As you guys can see, there's no tension on the brake line, and that is what we want. Alright, so if you are running the OEM stock calipers, this will not apply to you, but since I'm running the Acura RL caliper with the fast brakes adapter kit, I will need to remove this bracket before modifying the dust shield in order to fit the Genesis caliper. Alright, so here is the fast brakes adapter bracket. In case you guys are wondering how it looks, you got two of the mounting bolts here, and you got the two longer ones right here that mounts the caliper onto the bracket. We do need to modify the dust shield in order to fit the bigger Genesis brake caliper by either trimming it or bending it back. I'm just gonna go ahead and bend it back, and I'll show you guys where I made my bend points to clear the Genesis brake caliper. So as you can see, I marked it right there. We pretty much will be bending this corner piece back. This side piece right here, I did a few test fits already. It does seem to clear, but it is pretty close to the caliper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and bend this part right here that's sticking out back as well. And for the bottom piece, you will need to bend this back ever so slightly, just so it won't hit the caliper as well. So yeah, hopefully that is some good reference points for you guys. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bend those back. So this is the freshly painted Genesis caliper. I decided to go with the red, and I have no regrets. It looks super good in this color. So before you get this installed, make sure that the nipples on the calipers are facing up. That is the correct way to install this onto the Civic. And again, I'll be using the OEM mounting bolts found on the OEM caliper to get this installed. Alright guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and run the OEM Genesis brake pads. I'm still deciding what I want to run, so if you guys have any comments below, drop them down below. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get these on just to get the car back up and running. Some of you guys have asked me about the brake pad overhang on this setup, and as you can see here, the brake pads line up very well with the 320mm Nissan Rogue rotors. There is no brake pad overhang where I can see here. And on this side, as you can see, it lines up perfectly. Now to the messiest and least favorite part of the job. We are going to transfer the brake lines from the Acura RL calipers, but in your case it may be the OEM calipers, onto the new Genesis calipers. I suggest having a drain tray and some towels ready just in case. Let's get messy. Look at that, guys. Did as fast as I could, but I still love to mess. Alright guys, so this is the completed setup. I am very happy with the final result. Everything fitted up the way it should. So here's a quick rundown of the completed setup. We have the Genesis BBK set up with the Nissan Rogue 320mm rotors. We have ATEC final speeds, 17x9 plus 27 wrapped in Yokohama Advent Flavas 235/40s all around with Matiki lug nuts. Man, love the way this setup turned out, just as I imagined. You do have a lot of brake clearance with these wheels. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to get a set of these ATEC final speeds in this specific spec. These are super hard to find. I'm very fortunate to have found this set. But got a lot of brake clearance in there, guys. Let's go and check out the passenger side. There it is. Here's the passenger side. Again, very, very happy with the final result. I am super satisfied with this whole install. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you guys for tuning in all the way to the end. If you guys enjoyed it and found this video helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel. It will definitely help me out. But until then guys, I appreciate all of you guys' support. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.